I am filled with joy. I am just beside myself with joy. Hey knitters, welcome to the Knitty McPurly podcast. I'm your host, Devin You can find me at KnittyMcPurly.com. I am Knitty McPurly on Instagram. And if you want to email me, I am Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing? I am just so happy to be alive today. It is a gorgeous day. I am looking ahead at a week of just the best weather. I'm so happy. If you are new, if you could please just take a second and hit the subscribe button, give the video a like, ring the little bell, leave a comment if you want to. I love reading your comments. I read every single one and I try and heart them and like them. Are those two different things? I can't remember. Anyway, today I'm drinking out of my Arizona mug, and the reason is, hi Karen from Arizona who sent me this. The reason is because I thought I don't want to miss any mugs. I have all of these wonderful state mugs and I don't want to miss any of them. So what if I went alphabetically? And since I don't have Alabama or Alaska, we'll start with Arizona. I have some of this Tazo Wild Sweet Orange. Have you guys had this tea? It is so good. I really like it. It tastes like it has sugar in it, even though it doesn't. Anyway, we have so much to talk about today. Oh my gosh, so much to talk about. Let's start with what I'm wearing. I have on my Summer Vibe top with my, it's hard to see the whole thing, my Jovis duster. Check it. You might be saying, Devin, why are you wearing the Jovis duster today? Because this pattern is finally coming out. Finally, I designed this pattern in 2023 and it is finally coming out. I want to thank all of my amazing testers, my tech editors, because this has gone through 2 rounds of tech editing. Just because I burned out, I designed it and then I completely burned out. And so it sat for a little while. So I thought, let's give it a refresh. We'll give it another tech edit, another test knit. And I'm going to be talking about that in a little bit. So stick with me. Let's get on to progress and shop news. There is 1 million things to talk about. Or I should say there are 1 million things to talk about because that is grammatically correct. I picked up a huge shipment of Virginia woolen spun today down in Southern Virginia. Actually, I don't even think it is Southern. I live so far at the tippity top that I forget that there's a lot more of Virginia down below me, but I went as far south as I had to go pick up this yarn. And it was so great because I really thought I was gonna have to rent a truck and drive down 81 in my big old truck to pick up the yarn, but happily it wasn't all ready. And so they agreed to ship me the last 2 boxes, and I can fit 5 boxes in the family van. If I take out some seats and lay some seats flat and just open it all up, I can fit 5 boxes. And I was thinking I could probably even fit a 6th box if I push the passenger seat up a little bit further. Anyway, it all worked out. So I got there and the boxes are there, but I was expecting the young guy to be there to help me load them because my kids were in school. It was just me. And I can lift half the box, but I can't lift, there's 900 skeins of yarn in each box. I can't lift it by myself. It's gigantic and really heavy. So guess who helped me load those huge heavy boxes into my car? Yes, Francis, who's 90. I was like, Francis, go slow. Don't overexert yourself. These boxes cannot be the thing that does you in. And he was like, I'm good. I got this. He's like, I'm 90, but I don't act 90. And I was like, someday I want to be able to say that. I'm 90, but I don't act 90. Yes. Anyway, that was great. So I came home and I started dyeing that yarn. All of your orders will ship by Tuesday because this is my anniversary vacation week with my husband. And I'm not going to be available to do any dyeing or shipping after Tuesday for a little bit of time. So if you placed an order before this past Friday, before yesterday, Friday the, 17th, I think. If you place your order before that, it'll go out by Tuesday. If it was placed on Friday or after, it will go out after we get back from our trip. And that's on the website, just so, everybody knows that that is the sitch. Okay. I am so excited for our Pittsburgh retreat. I have a whole story to tell about that, so stay tuned because I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Okay, also, Advent calendars are available for pre-order now. There is so much joy in Christianity. I am filled with joy. I am just beside myself. And so every year I like to do a Jesus-themed Advent. It is his season after all. It's his birthday that we're looking at. So this year's theme is from the Sermon on the Mount. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his glory was arrayed like one of these. I just got goosebumps. Did you just get goosebumps? That's from Matthew chapter 6. And I love that line so much. As a person who loves clothes, that's Jesus being like, just chill, girl, like it's okay. You know what? You're gonna be fine. But also it includes the word spin, which I love. That's just really cool. But the theme for this year's Advent calendar is the lilies of the field. And we're going to be exploring the color story of the lilies of the field, the big, bold, bright lilies, the tiny little wildflowers that only live a day. We're going to be spanning the whole color spectrum. It will be a fade, but not like a delicate, gentle fade. I had a knitter show me one time this, I don't know if it was an Advent or not, but it was a fade that someone had done, and it was so gradual. And that can look absolutely beautiful. I loved it, but that is not this. We're going to be going through lots of different colors. It's very Knitty McPurly. I feel like I have a style. You guys know how I fade things. It's going to be like that. We're going to go through the whole color thing. This year's Advent has upgraded packaging. And when I say upgraded, this is the nicest Advent calendar box I have ever seen in my life. I didn't know that I could get a box this nice, but I got it. Because up until now, I had just been using the little U-line boxes. And last year, I think that Gigi stuck them down into the shipping box too early, and those glue dots dried out, so that when some of you got them, they had discombobulated in the package, and that was terrible. I don't ever want that to happen again. So instead of just, going like one click up in packaging, I went all the way to the tippity top. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be like, I don't even want to rip this open because it's so beautiful. It contains 24 20-gram minis in either Frankfurt fingering weight or Dubrovnik DK, just like we did last time. Now, the Frankfurt fingering weight is like a sock merino nylon, 75-25 merino nylon, and the entire Advent is a little over 2,200 yards. The Dubrovnik DK is 100% superwash merino, both superwash, and that is going to be about 1,200 yards. Advents ship in November so that you have them ready to go on December 1st. If you want to order it, please order it by itself, because if you order something else, it's going to sit there until November when it goes out. So if you want to order something else, just make a separate order for that, so that all that is on the Advent order is the Advent calendar. Okay. If you are interested in my Advent, or even if you're interested in Advents in general, I'll put a link down below to the listing for the Advent calendar. I have listed in there a whole bunch of great Advent calendar knitting patterns. And also Natalie, who I think is Knitty Natty. It just says Natalie, but I'm pretty sure that's her. She has made a whole list, and I have a link to that in my listing. So if you're like, well, I like the Advent idea, but I don't know what to make, click on the link that goes to Natalie's list, or you can click on any of the links that I have listed individually in the listing. So there's a ton of options. There's a lot of things that you can make that use just the Advent, but then you could also have the option of adding in like a neutral color or like a main color, such as the Sweet Shop blanket. Lots of people who are in my blanket club are using the Sweet Shop blanket, and then they're just using a main color to go with it. So that's always an option. Okay. The Jovis Duster is finally coming out on Tuesday, and it will be half price. If you get my newsletter, I will send out a newsletter about it. It will be available on my website. I will put it on Ravelry also, but you can't purchase it on Ravelry. It will just redirect you to my website where you can purchase it. Let's see. Later today, Gigi and I are going to go take the pictures for this sweater. I have been putting it off because I have gained 10 pounds since 2023. I was really happy with my weight in 2023, and I have pictures from there, but they're old pictures. Like I want fresher, newer pictures. I love the way this looks with my summer vibe top because it has the Jovis. You know, it's the same color, so they look really nice together. So anyway, we're gonna go take those pictures, which I dread. Getting my picture taken is my least favorite part of the process, but whatever, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna stand in a certain way that makes me feel good. Now, the testers, on the other hand, I'm gonna put their pictures up while we're talking. The testers are some of the most beautiful ladies you've ever seen in your life, and they just look amazing in their sweaters. I could not have been happier with this group of testers. They were so wonderful. And I felt like I had so much going on that I wasn't, giving as much feedback as I normally like to give, but they came through for me and they did amazing. The one lady who was Katie, hi Katie, she is knitting the largest size for her friend, and she broke her arm or sprained her wrist or something. And she's like, Devin, I'm doing it. I was like, you got this, Katie. But it's okay. It's all okay. It came out great. I'm so happy with it. I hope you like it. I hope you guys love it. Probably I'll have a yarn sale when I get back too. Maybe we'll do a little yarn sale, do some kits for it. That sounds good. But if you want, grab the pattern. It'll be half price for a week or two at least. Okay, you should have received your Year of Hats yarn or your Blanket Club yarn. And if you haven't, it's probably coming today or Monday. It'll be there soon because I mailed it a couple days ago. I think it came out amazing. I have a little video. Oh no, I'm not gonna show it. Never mind. I'm not gonna show it because not everybody may have gotten theirs yet, but that is May's yarn. So I won't be here next week. Next Saturday, there will not be a podcast, but there will be one after that, May 2nd, Saturday. So I will show the May yarn then. Whew. I went through that pretty quick. Okay, I have been working on Charlotte's sweater, and I have been dialed in because I want to get it done. So just to recap, I recap this every week. It feels like every week I recap this because it's still not done. Charlotte's sweater that she saw online that she wants. As of right now, and this is wonky because I use this for my, where is it? Okay, for my mattress stitch tutorial. Okay, so this is the sweater. Okay, this is the back. You guys know how it is when it's in the floppy stage. And this is one front, and this thing is the side panel that's gonna go here. Here, how's that? Is that a good view? Anyway, it's in the floppy stage. I had all of the knitting done for the base of the sweater. I will need to pick up the sleeves and the button band and the bottom band. But then I realized my two strips in the front had the same color right here. So they were gonna have two of the same color next to each other. So I had to rip that out and re-knit just that one strip. I'm really hoping that in 2 weeks I will have the sweater done. And if Charlotte got to be on the podcast and show it off, she would be beside herself. She would absolutely love it. So that is my plan. Hopefully I'll get this done. I also did cast on my Year of Hats hat for April. This is the Dubrovnik DK, and this is thistle, but with a speckle. And I am knitting the hipster hat, I think. Yes, the hipster hat by Petite Knit, because I love the decreases. I just think they're really cool. I like the way she did those. And here's how far I got. Not very. But hopefully I will have time to work on both of these projects on my trip, and I will come back in 2 weeks just with all of the knitting. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, topic of the week. This week we're going to talk about the mattress stitch because that is my life right now. I am just mattress stitching the daylights out of this sweater. And I actually had to film this tutorial a couple of times because in the first iteration, I think I split the yarn. And when I tried to pull it, you pull the two ends to make it zip together, it just wouldn't go. And I thought, what did I do wrong? And then as I'm pulling it out, I'm like, I split the yarn somewhere. So this is like the third try. Here you go. So the mattress stitch is the effort of joining two pieces of stockinette together with a seam that you can see on the wrong side, but on the right side, it looks seamless. So like that right there. Okay, I'm not amazing at it. It's not perfect, but here is on the back side. I think it looks fairly good. Okay, so what we're gonna do to join these two pieces together is I'm going to line them up, making sure that the V's are going the same way. See how the V's go like this and the V's go like that. And I'm going to pick a row of stitches. I like to go kind of one row in, one column in, I guess I should say. And see that bar right there? That's what we're gonna grab. I'm gonna grab that bar right there and go in underneath. I've got just a long piece of yarn threaded on a tapestry needle. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Go in about one row and grab that bar like that. All right, and then I'm just gonna continue to do that. Now, what you wanna be sure to do is that you are always grabbing a bar from the same column, because if you are jumping in and out of different columns, you'll see that in your finished seam. You want to have just that beautiful row of stitches right there showing. Go over here. Mattress stitch is really satisfying. It's a little finicky at the beginning because you're figuring out your columns, but you definitely get into a rhythm. And then 6 hours later, you finish your seam. Now, once you have a little bit of the mattress stitch going, what you can do is shore it up by pulling both ends, and you will end up with your 2 rows of stitches. It's a little hard to see because of all the variegation there. Now, I didn't bother doing the tippy top, but when I weave in the ends, I will make that nice and flush. And then you just continue with that all the way down, and you will end up with beautiful mattress stitched seams. If you've been knitting for a long time, then you have probably done the mattress stitch a lot, because that used to be the only way that sweaters were pulled together in the end. Nowadays, we like to knit things in one piece, and you'll hear people make arguments for seams. Some people really like the seams. And I do think that they can add stability. That can be a thing that they add, but I don't think that you need them. I wanted to say, kind of peripherally, a few months ago, I showed you how I store some of my sweaters in my closet by hanging them, and how just the summer ones, not the winter ones, because the weight of a winter sweater will pull down and give you those like lumps on your shoulders. But what I'll do is I'll just flip the sleeve up over the hanger so that nothing is on that curvy part of the hanger, or I'll fold it in half and hang it over the hanger. And I don't have any problem with my sweaters getting stretched out. Now again, not big heavy winter sweaters, but just summer weight sweaters where I flip the sleeves up over the hanger, and that's just fine. And the reason I mention that is because you don't necessarily have to have that seam here to prevent your sweater from dragging. I feel like it isn't going to do that. I've knit a lot of one-piece sweaters, almost entirely. In fact, this one I have on is one of the few that I have seamed, because this is one where you do the front panel and the back panel and then just sew them up. zip them up here and zip them up here. But otherwise, I feel like seams are not 100% needed, but if you do need to seam something, it's very easy and very satisfying, even if it takes a long, long time. All right, let's move on to knitting fantasies. My first pick is one that was just published this month called The Harbor Sweater by Haley Smedley, who is Ozetta. That is her knitting name. That's the name of her website. Her website is Ozetta Knitwear. So I found this sweater and I just loved it. It has so much beauty going on with it. I love the shape. I love the ease. I just love the color work. This is a worsted weight sweater and it comes in all the sizes from 30 inches to 60 inches. That's the size range that I use when I design. It has a lot of positive ease. I would absolutely love to make this. So after I looked at this sweater, and I think it's $8 or $9 for the sweater, and it is not on sale. So maybe there was a sale and I missed it, or maybe she didn't put it on sale, I'm not sure. But after I saw this, I went to her website, OzettaKnitwear.com. I'll link all this down below. Her website is amazing. She's like American brunette petite knit. She has a lot of basic designs, really. I mean, it's very, very similar to petite knit. I liked it a lot. I liked everything in there. All basics, all staples, really good. If you've not seen this designer, I recommend that you go check her out. Maybe she is somebody that you know of for years and years, but if she's new to you, like she's new to me, go check her out. Give a look at her stuff because it is really cool. Okay. Today's So Here's What Happened story comes to us from Marion. Hi, Marion. Marion sent me the story exactly a month ago today. And this is a great story. The reason I love this story so much is because knitters are getting other people to knit. And I love that. I love when there's a person who all they want to do is knit, but they don't know it yet. And they start knitting and then they can't stop knitting. And I just love that because that was totally me, except I knew that I wanted to knit for years and years. And then when I finally learned, I was like, where has this been all my life? Marion said, 3.5 years ago, we lost our sweet mother to the Lord. She was amazing, and my brother and my 2 sisters miss her every day. Oh, that's like my kids. I have 3 girls and a boy too. She says, we held on to my parents' house for almost a year afterward, and eventually my twin sister Marie bought our childhood home from us. It was truly a blessing because we were dreading selling it to just anyone. My parents raised us in this house for 60 years, and now my sister shares it with us. With that being said, she sold and moved from her home into Mama's house. I was helping her pack up her house and pulled out a beautiful straw bag from the back of a closet and saw balls of beautiful yarn, a pattern, and a whip on the needles. I was shocked because she never mentioned that she was knitting. I asked her about it and she said, oh yeah, I just stopped working on it. She said I could have it if I wanted it. I was like, heck yeah, as the yarn was beautiful. I brought it home and started pulling out my treasures from the bag. There were multiple types of nice yarn and patterns. I then found the original receipts from 2012, by the way, and what she spent on the yarn, and my mouth dropped. Remember, I told you it was nice yarn. In good faith, I could not just take it. So I decided to knit her something with the yarn. The patterns were out of date, so I settled on the Traveler Shawl from Andrea Mowry. I wanted to keep it a surprise, so I did not mention it to her. I've enclosed a few pics of the FO. It turned out really nice. I then gave her the straw bag with the finished shawl in it. She pulled it out and looked at it and said, "You finally knitted me something." And then she looked at it further and recognized the yarn. She loved it. It truly brought me joy to do that for her. She is knitworthy for sure. The good news is I have started working with her and teaching her how to knit. I have created a monster as she knits any free moment she has. She now understands my obsession. It's been great spending time with her now to just visit, sit, and knit. We are now the twins that knit too. I have wanted to put this down, and I hope you can share it one day on your podcast. Thank you so much, Marion. I love that. The shawl came out amazing, and I would love to see some of the stuff that Marie knits. That is awesome. I love new knitters. And again, that was like my experience. My friend taught me how to knit, and it was off to the races. I just have not stopped since. Okay. Here we are at the heart-to-heart section where I normally talk about life and something that is not knitting related. And this is about life, but it's also kind of knitting related because I'm going to tell you about why I took my video down last week. If you're like me, you probably didn't notice that the video got taken down. I don't notice things like that. I am under a rock. If I've seen the video, I've seen it. If I haven't, whatever. But I know some of you noticed. So the reason that I took my video down is because I got a scary lawyer letter that said cease and desist using the term Knitsburg. So there is a knitting group in Pittsburgh, not affiliated with the yarn stores that I talked about last week on that video that I took down. Just a knitting group. And when I use the word Knitsburg, rather than saying, hey, Devin, this is a group that we have and we don't want people to be confused. We don't want them to think that this is our retreat when it's really yours. Would you mind using a different word? I would have said, sure, that's fine. I can do that. No worries. The only reason that I use Knitsburg is because of this thing my mom. So I'm blaming you, Mom. It's your fault. Here, Knitsburg. So I was like, fine, no big deal. I just won't use it. But I was a little like, why did you have to threaten me? It was a threat. It was like, if you don't cease and desist and provide us with all this other financial business information, we're going to sue you. I don't think it used the word sue, but that was, I think, the gist of it. I have watched enough YouTube to know that the first step in suing someone is a cease and desist letter. And honestly, even though I was annoyed by the letter, my first response was, that's fine. Like, I don't want to waltz into your town and take your word. If it's your word, you can have it. But at the same time, I was curious about these other things that they said I had to do. So I looked into it. Because I know some lawyers too, trademark lawyers, in fact. And the thing about trademarks is that you can't just say, this is my word, and no one else can use it. When you get a trademark, which they don't actually have, they said that they had one, but really they're just in the application process of getting the trademark. When you get a trademark, you get it in a certain capacity. Like Knitty McPurly is trademarked as a business that does commerce, that sells yarn. So it doesn't mean that no one ever can use it ever. It just means that in that capacity, I'm the only one who can use it. So when they're trying to use the word Knitsburg, they have it in a certain capacity, but not in the same way that I was using it. So that just kind of made me feel good. But honestly, I have no intent on stealing their word. I just was kind of like, what the heck? Like, why did you have to be a jerk about it? Why couldn't you just ask? Because I would have said, sure, that's fine. No worries. I don't need to be threatened. So it was kind of nice to know that I don't really have to do what they say. I will, though, because I wouldn't want somebody to march into my neck of the woods and be like, I'm Knitty McPurly now. I'm using this word. You know, I get it. It's your word and you can keep it. But don't be a jerk. Don't threaten people when you don't need to threaten them because maybe they're nice. It's worth a try. So anyway, one of the things that they asked me to do was to take down the video. And I didn't care about taking it down because it wasn't a real podcast anyway. It was like I got out of the car, I'm like sweaty and I hadn't had a good night of sleep. And nobody asked me that why. Like, why didn't you sleep well in this hotel where we're going to have the retreat? And it wasn't for any reason of the hotel. It's just because we forgot to bring our noise machine, and like every single weird noise that I wasn't used to, I could hear. So it wasn't any reason at all. But I didn't care about taking it down. If I had cared, I probably would have fought harder for it, but I didn't. So because that video is now taken down, I'm going to put the footage that we took from our trip to Pittsburgh at the end of this video in case you missed it. If you saw the video from last week, it's the same footage that I put on the last video. But if you missed it, here is the footage. I am super excited for this knitting retreat, April 2027. Oh, April 15th through 18th. So mark your calendars if you would like to come. I'm not going to be rolling it out for a little bit. So you have time to think about it. If you can make it that weekend, it's going to be great. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And no amount of scary lawyer letters is going to put a damper on that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful 2 weeks. I'm sure that I will. I will be posting pictures probably on Instagram, I hope, and just generally having a great time. So have a wonderful week. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye, knitters.